Hey, y'all, come look at this.
Bleach's 1000-Year Blood War episode 30 has just dropped, and as always, it featured a lot of new content that I need to discuss, especially what I told you was coming, the Ichigo vs Uryu fight. A fight that is gonna piss off a lot of power scalers. Anyways, let's get started. First of all, was that another Yhwach ability, or those monochromatic colors are just a dramatic visual effect? It can be either of them, to be honest. This visual effect looks similar to the other one when Yhwach activates the Almighty. But in this scene, he was not using it, so considering they are adding a lot of new stuff, this might be one of the new additions. But still, he had the Almighty activated, so it might have been his spiritual pressure. I really hope it is a new ability though. I cannot express how hyped I become when I see Yhwach unleash a new ability or form, especially his Soul King form, because this shit looks tough. As for the other additions though, I really like that they focused on Ichigo being part Quincy in this episode, which makes me damn near certain that him being part Quincy is gonna play a major role in defeating Yhwach. Initially, I didn't understand any of the scenes where Ichigo uses his own blood vein to regain control of his arm, or the other scene where Ichigo uses it against Uryu, and we can see Uryu visibly shocked when he saw it, until I realized what significance do both these scenes have. And my theory is, one of the biggest plot holes in Bleach was how did Ichigo survive the Auswählen after he awakened his Quincy powers. And it might be that Ichigo's Quincy powers are special, and as cliche this might seem, it actually makes sense. Ichigo's Quincy powers are now his own Zanpakuto. I'm not really sure what are they gonna do regarding this plot hole, but mark my words, this scene has a lot to do with it, and it definitely is an important scene in general. As for the other scene, I was wondering why did they put emphasis on Uryu's expressions until I realized that Uryu does not know the whole flashback thing. He doesn't know that he is related to Ichigo, he never knew that Ichigo was a Quincy, and I feel like Kubo made Uryu an actual betrayer in here after he knew part of the truth from the books he has read, probably even listened to some Quagga propaganda from Yhwach, and maybe they are going to make it that Uryu gets a change in heart after he hears about the whole truth, either from his dad or from Ichigo himself. If you think about it, this scenario is heavily in line and reminiscent to their first encounter, in which they also fought at that time, and what stopped them from fighting was that Uryu remembered his grandfather's words. I think this addition and the hypothetical ending that I theorize fit really well narrative-wise. But talking about their fight, I'm not gonna talk about how great the fight was in terms of animation or visuals because this goes without saying. What I really like though was the added dialogue, especially this scene.
何の真似だって聞いてんだよ。いっさ！僕がクインシーだからだ。それでなんでまだお前はそこにいるんだよ！俺らが何のためにここに来たか分かってんのかよ。陛下を止めるというなら、僕を殺していけ。捕まえたぜ。クインシー・フォルシュテンディヒ。
I see you, nigga. You fucking the hell out of me, bro. You fucking the hell out of me, bro. You are, nigga. I'm new, bro. I'm new to this.
I also like that Ichigo is now spamming Getsuga Jujisho instead of his old signature move. And one thing that I noticed is that Ichigo was alternating between his dual-wield state and the single one. I believe Kubo has confirmed that Ichigo gets to choose whether his Shikai is dual-wielded or not. I'm not really sure though, so take this with a grain of salt, but this episode seemingly confirms this fact. On a side note, the scene where Ichigo is hit by the arrow, I didn't really understand how couldn't Ichigo deflect the arrow. Like, he literally deflected a dozen of those a moment ago. Is there something special about that arrow, or did Ichigo simply refuse to keep fighting because he didn't have an answer to Uryu's question about the honor? There is only one way to know. However, what I'm kinda sure about is that even though it seems they made Uryu an actual betrayer here, he deliberately refused to kill Ichigo with that last shot. I feel like this is a callback to Uryu's fight against Mayuri in the Soul Society arc, when he could have, but he refused to deal a fatal blow on Mayuri. There might be a connection between these two scenes, especially with Ichigo being hit in the exact same spot as Mayuri. But anyways, that aside, after Ichigo got the rangy treatment, we can see Haschwalth staring into Uryu's soul, which is a really nice expansion regarding both the Haschwalth Busby and Haschwalth Uryu dynamics, as Haschwalth witnessed one of his subordinates showing no mercy to one of his friends when they had a conflict similar to his with Baz B, which acts as an emotional build-up to Haschwalth's decision of finishing Baz B, and is definitely going to add a lot of emotions to the final fight between Uryu and Haschwalth. I also wonder whether Haschwalth and Baz B mini story is gonna get expanded upon, especially when we have a scene like this acting as an emotional build-up, and also Kubo's answer about which characters should we pay attention to in the score, and he said Baz B and Haschwalth. And lastly, what I didn't really understand is why did Yhwach ask the Shurist level members for their powers in order to slay the Soul King? Is base Yhwach not potent enough to do it, or again did they add this scene for dramatic purposes? I hope we get more explanation regarding the Soul King.